Every Saturday this time, we welcome in Carlos Rodriguez. For years and years and years involved with the Attorney General's office. We call it Carlos in Your Corner as we talk about scams and ways that people just get taken advantage of more and more than ever. Good to see you.
Thank you.
You heard that
Great to be here.
Pat's going on vacation. He won't be here next week.
Oh, Pat. Oh.
What do you got? What do you got today?
Read the fine print. I mean, I remember going to Florida a couple of years ago, and I was fuming mad because we go on one of these trips to, I think we stayed at the Marriott in Orlando, and the hidden fees involved, with hotels is just unbelievable.
Like what?
Like parking.
Yes, yeah.
Parking fee, internet service. Every little thing was a la carte.
That's what's irritated me in the last couple of years. Whenever I go to a hotel, they add the internet service on, and I thought
$15 a day.
Yeah.
and that's horrendous. And I thought it was free in hotels, and I was mistaken. Highly,
True.
you know what I mean? The last couple of years, I'm like, wow, every place charges you for internet.
I was
Some
so
of them,
mad.
some of them will allow you free internet if you remember, like if you're a member of Hilton Honors, for instance.
Okay.
They give you and some hotels do have free internet service. They'll give you a code to punch in when you check in. So you should always, I guess, check at the front desk.
Well, what happens is, now everyone's booking their trips through the internet price, some of these companies.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to really dig into the details of what really are you getting for the cheaper price, I assume, in the booking.
I learned when I went to Denver at Christmas time to visit my son.
Yep.
And I'm a member of the Hilton Honors.
Okay.
I figured if I'm going to be going out there a lot, I may as well take advantage of it.
Yes.
I found that if I booked the trip through Expedia, one of those type, you don't get credit for staying at the Hilton if you book through Expedia.
Wow.
You have to book directly with Hilton.
Oh,
Because I said,
good to
geez,
know.
and I was
Yeah.
out there for, 8 days, and that's some
big
Yeah.
difference.
miles or whatever you accumulate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hilton, they accommodated me. They said, but just so you know, next time, if you don't book it right through our site, you don't get credit for the
Yeah,
stay.
I think I rather book a hotel right from calling the hotel instead of going through. So you might, going through the internet, you might save a few bucks, but in the long run, it might cost you more.
And don't they also say, don't go through the hotel's 800 number? Look for the number of the hotel itself.
I call directly.
That's
Yeah.
what I try to do.
Call directly.
Because then you can negotiate a little bit.
Yeah.
Say, well, if you got rooms you got to get rid of, isn't it better that I'm spending $60 a night than you not having anybody in there?
Yeah.
And they will never do that on the 800 number, but they'll do that at the direct.
I just can't understand why they charge you for parking. You're visiting wherever you are.
Yep.
You have a reservation for the hotel, and you got to pay parking every day.
Well, that's a
It's
little bit
just
of a rip.
unbelievable.
It does seem like a rip-off, but if you think about it, the last year I went to Boston last year and stayed at the Marriott down at the harbor. That's a very congested area.
Nice hotel, though.
Very. You've been there?
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
I won't forget it.
My
That's
hometown,
gorgeous.
man.
I
Yeah.
love that. Right right at the harbor. And I just think that hotel's gorgeous. But it's such a congested area. They have a limited parking, so it's like any downtown area, right?
Okay.
Or wrong?
Yeah, because
That's why
true.
I didn't throw stones at the hotel because they charged me $10 or whatever it was.
Oh, it was more than that, I guarantee, because you go to the aquarium, which is right down there at Long
Yeah.
Wharf. You want to bring the family to the aquarium, you got to pay $25 to put your car in the garage there, too.
Okay. Maybe
So,
it was
yeah.
more. I forget.
I guarantee you.
Wow.
If you get $10 to park downtown Boston, you got a bargain.
Okay.
What I didn't say about this whole trip was that we had stayed I went down to the Boy Scout convention. They had the annual meeting down there in Florida. So right before we left, they gave us an offer. Oh, come back, stay 3 days, and you get a real discount on the hotel rooms. Well, tacked on to that was you had to go through one of these timeshare.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Red flag timeshare, presentation. I walked out of mine.
You've done it, though? You've said.
Oh yeah, I went through the whole thing.
How long? Well, you walked out, but how long was it?
It was I was there almost a whole morning.
Really?
Wow.
Absolutely, they take you around.
painful.
I have all these hors d'oeuvres and all these things and.
Did they get you drunk?
goodies. And the high pressure sale is just unbelievable. I couldn't stand it. I had to walk out.
Seriously, though, did they ply you with alcohol?
Oh, No alcohol.
Okay.
Oh.
But if it
gonna
was
say.
in the afternoon or evening, probably. But this was a morning event, so they
They'd
had a lot of
probably
goodies.
get more sales if they did little mimosa
That's what
for
I was
you.
saying. Yeah.
Get a refill
Boy,
on
they
that.
really work you.
This place looks great.
Right.
Where's my checkbook?
6 mimosas in, you're like,
tell you.
yeah, give me a timeshare. I'll buy 6.
Let's touch on timeshares for just a
Yeah,
second.
okay.
I hate those things.
I've never done one.
Well, I've never
People
done one of
swear
those
by 'em.
formal thingies.
Yeah.
I just think they're outrageous in terms of dollars. I don't see where the investment works. But if you go to a vacation, like I went to Puerto Vallarta, and all he did was try to harass you every day. You're walking to the beach, he tried to harass you to go into one of those sales meetings, and I'm thinking, what a horrendous vacation! It just ruined my whole week. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to ring,
But-
and they're harassing me.
And Carlos, I know you know this. There are people who it's a cottage industry for them to just
Yes.
sit through the presentation so they can get a free weekend somewhere.
Well,
Absolutely.
interesting
Yeah,
enough,
yeah.
they offered. I was supposed to get 100 points for Disney World or something because I was in Orlando. Never got my gift. Maybe it's because I walked out and I didn't like the deal of.
Could
and
be.
they work you. They have one level, the beginning salesperson, and they'll take you around. Then they have another group that come in and start giving you the details about how the costs, and you could sell your shares or you could go anywhere in the world. It's amazing. Then they have the last person that's supposed to close the deal, but they want you to sign right there
Yeah.
that day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A mortgage. You're signing a mortgage. You're
Sure.
buying property.
I don't. I've done the numbers in the past, and I don't find it to be worth it. I can go to the nicest hotel I could ever find and stay there for a week out of a year, and it'd be cheaper than spending money on buying a timeshare. The numbers I've worked out in the past.
Well, I know a couple
know?
that has a timeshare in Mexico, and they love Mexico so much that for them to go once or twice a year was, costing them, if they were doing it, a la carte, it was costing them a lot of money.
Right.
They have this timeshare now. They can virtually go almost any time they really want to go, and they love it.
Okay, so it's worth it. Their package might be worth it to them.
Yeah.
Okay. I just know I went to Newport, Rhode Island,
Yeah.
10 years ago. I love it. I love
Another
it there
great place, yeah.
Another great. Just for the weekend, we rented someone else's timeshare because they couldn't go or didn't want to go there. So we just spent 3 nights in someone else's condo that was a timeshare normally. It was the whole condominium thing was and I was like, yeah, this is great. This is only like $130 a night, or I don't even remember.
Oh, maybe how'd you like people to rent your timeshare then? Maybe that's
Maybe I don't.
Well,
I just,
remember, you're buying property. This property source. Timeshare is you're buying property, and you're going to be stuck with the condominium fees,
yeah.
and taxes and such.
yep.
It might not be. You're going to really have to do an assessment of whether it's worth for
Right.
you, financial. Oh, okay.
but are there tax advantages to having a timeshare, I wonder?
I don't know. It's vacation. I don't unless you're a corporation and you buy a timeshare, then you got all these loopholes. But
I think if it's
a person,
if it's a second home, you could write off the property
That's
taxes.
what I'm thinking about.
yeah,
The property taxes are deductible.
that's one of the considerations. But
Interest on the mortgage is a deductible
But
item.
what I can't stand is the high pressure sales. You have to sign the prices that day. There's hardly any
yeah.
negotiation, and you have to sign all this documentation and really take on a mortgage if unless you have the cash.
Yeah. I don't like it.
If you can handle it, it's a great way to get a free weekend.
Well, yeah,
But
and
you
if
got to
you
be
want
able
to
to
travel,
handle it. Yeah. Yeah.
to different places.
Pat's on vacation next week, and I tried to
Oh.
convince him. He's not going to do it this time, but at some point he's going to take a cruise. I'm a big cruising guy.
Yeah, I love cruises. I've been to about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Love it.
However-
best bang for your buck.
Oh, it is.
Well, everybody keeps telling me that, and I keep going
telling
into
you.
denial. And do you know what I just saw in the news yesterday? Another ship, the engine fire in the engine room or something, and it was out of power for 2 days.
As a
There's
Mara
been a
cruises,
lot
yeah.
of
See
those.
that?
I know.
And I keep reading those, and I was thinking of Steve yesterday when I saw that in the news, or last week, whenever it was, and I was like, no, this is more ammunition for me.
And what did I tell you each time? I say all these little incidents do is scare away first timers. People who cruise for a living know that these events are few and far between. It's just a little bad run that the cruise industry has had.
True.
But the reason why I bring it up is you have to also watch out for cruise scams.
Absolutely. I because today's theme's a little bit about vacations, and I'm glad that you're going on a trip, and I hope you have a great time.
You're going to get to meet my wife
there's
next week, by the way. My wife's going to fill in for him. She'll meet my wife.
Oh, excellent.
But go ahead.
There's another scam called the Love Boat scam.
Oh,
And I
this
know
ought to
Pat
be good.
he's like,
The love.
Any 24-year-olds?
you get a robocall, just a call. It's a computer-generated call. What they call it, a robocall. It says you've been given the opportunity to win a 2-day cruise to the Bahamas.
Yeah. I've got
Okay.
that one. It
Oh,
starts
got
out
that
when
one?
you hear the ship whistle going, and then I'm your captain. How would you like to join us?
Oh, really? On your phone?
On the phone.
On the phone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, and all you have to do is pay a $59 port tax.
Really?
That's all it's going to cost you.
Is that right? That's the scam?
That's the little trick.
hook on the
That's
phone.
the little carrot.
Okay, so they're saying 2 days, 2 nights, or whatever, to the Bahamas at
Right.
$59.
$59 port tax.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But
Here comes the big butt.
Uh-oh.
you need to
Say.
sign up now, and we need your credit card number.
Okay.
So some folks will, say, yeah, 2 days. I'll go this weekend or whenever.
Sure.
the
It
time
sounds,
and
it sounds easy to manage
Yeah.
and very affordable,
For
right?
$59.
Now, that's the scam. I think we finally found it, guys. I think we found it.
yeah,
Well, you gotta
can
get a
just
boat
start making
first.
calls,
Right.
and you become a nice victim of identity theft.
Hey, let me ask you.
easy.
So be aware of that, of course.
Absolutely. Just-
Anytime you say it every single week here, if they ask for your
Nothing's
credit,
free. Don't give out your credit card information over the phone. I mean,
Let me ask you about travel insurance. I'm taking a cruise. Gosh, it's a year from now, but and I'm going a year from now. One, so I can pay for it all ahead of time on a
Right.
monthly basis.
it's a good idea.
And two, I wanted this particular boat, and this particular cabin, and this particular itinerary. But anyway, I'm mulling whether I should get travel insurance.
Absolutely. I have health issues, so I always get the insurance for medical. Just for the medical part. What if I have to cancel?
And we're looking. Who knows what could happen to me in a year? Sure.
All right, travel insurance is very important. I would highly recommend it for any trip, but always read the fine print. Read the what's excluded. And there's a great site. Let me see if I find it. There's a
You have so
website.
much
I'll post
stuff
it.
there, yeah.
I'll post it because there's a great site that you could find out what insurance covers, and it's called InsureMyTrip.com. Gives you all these sites.
InsureMyTrip.com. We
Right.
will
It
have a
gives
link.
We will have a link.
Yeah.
Dozens of insurance policies and gives you the exclusions and everything.
What kind of
That's the
stuff
problem.
wouldn't be covered?
Well, like baggage, late baggage. It may not cover some of the items that are in your baggage.
If you lose it, yeah.
It may exclude, like, say you can't go because some medical reason. It may exclude a particular
Pre-existing
pre-existing condition. So you might want to be very careful
Before you
so
buy
in other
it.
words, say you're a diabetic or have a heart condition, and say you have some trouble right before your trip, where you can't go. Your
Yeah.
doctor says no.
Check the insurance first to see if that's covering you or not before
Right.
you pay for the insurance.
If you have a precondition, then I would make sure that the trip insurance covers your condition so they don't exclude you later on.
Okay.
I guess you got to trust your travel agent in this regard.
Most people are not using travel agents. Some do, some don't.
Book the cruise directly through the cruise website.
Some people go through a website to schedule a cruise or go directly to the cruise line.
I think that a cruise vacation or any kind of big vacation, something to go for a week, maybe 2 weeks, I think that's when you really should use a travel agent.
I know I
had a
have.
bad experience with a travel agent.
Did you really?
We
Really?
booked a trip to Disney through a travel agent because we had never done Disney before. There was
They
going to be
still
5
exist?
of us, and and we just wanted to make sure that we were going to get the most bang for our buck. We wanted to go to all the parks. We wanted to have everything included, and just there were so many things that were not explained to us that when we got there, we're like, okay, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know how the meal plan works, and I'm just thinking if you're a travel agent, like part of your job is to sit down and explain
Yeah.
what you're supposed
That's
to
the benefit
be and
of
where.
it.
Sure.
Right.
Was it
And
a
we
local company? Local?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was
Nice.
really, really disappointed. And I just thought, I've had better luck booking trips by myself, doing all the research
No, I
and
agree
stuff.
with you,
Yep.
because I booked
That's
a
too
cruise
bad.
Yeah.
with a local travel cruise, a company that specializes in cruises. You might want to go to if you're
Absolutely.
going for the first time.
It was your place of specializing in Disney place?
I don't know if they were specializing in Disney, but every
Yeah.
time I walk by, they always have like big Disney things on the.
Yeah.
I mean,
windows.
travel agents are so dying for business right now.
Yeah.
Right. You would just think that they would have been
A little more accommodating.
more thorough. I guess.
Thorough, yeah.
And a lot of them really do aim at specific markets. So,
Yeah.
you can usually find a travel agent that can help you out with your specific type of vacation.
But if you're a first-time cruiser, I would do your research.
Yeah.
What ships? I also look at the history of whether there's been problems.
Yeah.
Every year there's a problem with this virus, people getting sick on the
Something you have no
ships
control
and
over.
everything.
Right.
And you want to know if your insurance covers that, because the cruise lines, all they're going to do is if they cut the cruise short, they'll just offer you another cruise
Right.
later on. But what happens with all your added expenses and everything getting back and
Good advice.
paying, fees?
We're going to cruise out of here. It's time to go.
All right.
We can talk all day. Pat, enjoy your vacation.
Yes,
with all
enjoy.
that.
Thank you.
Have fun.
And be waiting for your stories about your vacation.
You'll get them.
And we'll
Okay.
see you next Saturday. Property Source Radio, ESPN Radio up next. Thanks for joining us. Have a great, happy Easter tomorrow,
Happy
too,
Easter.
by the way.
You as well.
And have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're out.